spirit medium. I'm a quantum healing hypnosis therapist. I'm also a spiritual advisor, consultant, and coach. The teenage years of life are a turning point for many. They were so much to me. When my friends aimed for better parties, more popularity, and more fashionable clothing, I wondered, what am I doing here? Fast forward 20 years, I was desperate to find my purpose and get started. Do you think we all have a life purpose? By a show of hands, can you show me? Do you know that we all have a life purpose? You do? And do you know what your life purpose is? Well, how interesting it would be. I see one hand going up. She knows what it is. So I'm very happy for you. But most of us spend a better part of our lives wondering what we all are doing here. Are we all just here to serve a normal life, live a normal life, eat, drink, sleep, and disappear into the darkness of the light? Or are we here to contribute to our lives and to others in a more meaningful way? I was working on elaborate feats and achieving new heights, but the inconsistent feeling of satisfaction brewed curiosity to find out the meaning of my life. Along with ushering in the new year in 2020, there came the approaching threat of an uncertain future for mankind. With the advent of a life-threatening virus into our lives, I had to seek answers from my higher self about what else I was supposed to create, and fast. It seemed as if time was running out for me and for those I knew. I sought answers to the most troubling questions keeping me from living a normal life. With work going 100% online, schools closing, and house help a source of oxygen for a working woman not arriving, life was difficult. Well, the word easy has just been redefined. It was amidst these mangled roots that I had to locate a tiny pearl. By April 2020, I knew I had to step out of my comfort zone already. With incessant questioning, I received some mind-bending information. A baritone voice that sounded very reassuring and calm spoke to me. I was told to teach automatic writing. Do we all know what is automatic writing? So we have one hand going up here, but just for your knowledge, automatic writing is a modality where you allow yourself to become a vessel where other beings like your ascended masters, your spirit guides, angels, entities that are not visible to us, maybe even extraterrestrials, those we know as aliens, they can come through and write with us. The very popular names in this field would be Khorshid Bhavnagri, who's written Laws of the Spirit World, and it's already a bestseller. And also Madam Nan Umrega, who crossed over this February 2022, and her books would be Sounds of Silence, Beyond the Silence, and Listening to the Silence. But when she read some pages out of my book, she was so impressed that she wanted to have a copy of it right away. Unfortunately, she passed over. She crossed over this February and I could not offer one to her. I had been taught by my guardian angel how to do automatic writing, but I did not have a ready course that I could train other students with. When I made this concern known to the source of this powerful voice, it answered, "We will help you." I searched high and low, but could not come across a course in automatic writing that was organized. Keep in mind that the added spice of the challenge was to teach it online. Online means I do not get to meet the person I'm teaching, I just get to see what and how they're proceeding on a camera. And that is not enough, because when you're teaching automatic writing or when you're in this session, you must be completely sensitive and aware to what energies you're dealing with. And I was keen on only connecting with those from the light. When I say those from the light, There is the other side that my fellow author earlier spoke of, Mr. Sumit Malik. He's not here in the room. Earlier in the day, he was talking about his book that is a science fiction, but connects all to things like the dark matter, time, space, wormholes, extraterrestrials and all that. While his book falls in the category of fiction, mine is a non-fiction. Yes, without interacting or meeting the student in person, I did not know how I was going to achieve this. But the zeal to keep going kept me on my toes. After completing daily household chores, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I also teach online automatic course. And at this point, I would like to mention that I was contacted by the popular Madam Nan Umriga, author of the 3 books I just mentioned. She wanted to find out for her last book how I teach this course online. Because while she wrote her books through automatic writing, everything she had learned had come to her from Khorshid Bhavnagari and Madam Kaparia, one Mrs. Kaparia in Mumbai. But she had never attempted to do this online, and I was already teaching that. I would sit down with my pen and a diary to download the course from the higher realms. The next step was to announce it. Surprisingly, a huge number of people on my social media handles exhibited their interest in learning automatic writing. This was the advent of a new phase in my life. While the world outside ran berserk, I found a teacher of esoteric sciences in me. Spiritual mediums in other countries reached out to me to understand how I was conducting mediumship sessions on Zoom. Well, little did they know that before life joined the fast lane with the internet, I was already trained by the spirit guides to work under the most difficult conditions and conduct my sessions on the telephone for years. This got attention from a prestigious podcast community for spirit mediums in the UK. And before I knew it, I had already agreed to their request for an international interview. One interview led to another, and there was more in the offing. If you wish to listen to these interviews where I speak about death, life beyond life, and philosophy, you can log on to my website www.kavyajaiswal.com. Send me a WhatsApp message from there requesting these links, and you will get all these links on your phone. The course that was given to me by my spirit guides gained much traction, and today my students practice it in different parts of the world. It was during one such training session that my student wrote with her spirit guide, who told her that they need to speak to me. I assumed I knew what was coming. They told me that they have been trying to get me to write a book for months now. It was high time that I acceded to their request and sat down to write. The result is my book, Waking Up in the Eye of the Storm. It took me a couple of months to write, so while I was sick or I was hale and hearty, while I was doing all the other things that I have been doing for years, I dedicated 1.5 hours every single day to channeling the messages in this book. And at any point that you pick up the book, you can start reading from any page, any chapter, and there is something definitely in there for you. Come to think of it, my brush with the spirit world did not happen on a dedicated day, not even a single moment. In retrospect, there are so many stories from my life that I could elaborate on. They have been around me since childhood. They have been around me since childhood, and all of us. But the conditioning of the external world prevented me from acknowledging their presence. If you would like to read about one such unbelievable experience that includes mind-boggling facts from my life, then please read Stories from India, Season 3, Volume 1. I will now read to you an excerpt, a short and an eye-opening chapter from my book. So this chapter is called Evolution in Consciousness, Part 2. What circumstances lead us to choose a life in the body of a human being? I put up this question, and alongside I had many other questions that I had been seeking answers to all the time, all the while I was growing up. So the normal saga, the normal stories that interests my peers or they do, even to date, they have never been of interest to me. I have always wanted to delve into the deeper truths and life beyond life. Where, while working as a medium, in the past 10 years that I have been a medium, my experience has been that there is nothing called death. When my sitters would come to me seeking answers or closures by getting messages from their loved ones who have already crossed over, initially, when I started out as being a medium, I thought I'm doing a great job. I never felt proud of it, but it gave me a satiety, a satisfaction inside that made me feel I'm serving, I'm doing something for humanity. As I progressed in mediumship, I realized that when I am connecting with a being on the other side, who for the sitter in front of me has crossed over, but is so much present to give me live information, even to the exact and accurate points about what that sitter is dealing with right now and how they can be helped, then that clicked inside me. That told me, are they really dead? If they are, how are they talking to me? I tried to question them further. I asked them, what are you doing on the other side? What are your favorite activities over there? And when I work as a medium, all I know about my sitter is when I'm taking their name down, that this is the name I am supposed to read for today. I know nothing beyond that. I've never met them. So if the information coming to me is coming from an external source, how does that source know what they need to deliver to the sitter before me? This was truly remarkable. Now I'm going to proceed to the question I asked to this entity, and I'm going to share the date and the source who gave me this answer. What circumstances lead us to choose a life in the human body of a human being? In the body of a human being? The answer came this way. The very essence of creation lies in the will of man. He willed, therefore he is. Here he is. Intentions can create a whole new world, whereas willpower brings the intention to life. You may be wondering what is so powerful about you that you cannot see yet, but the beings on the other side can see in you. You have willed yourself into existence. This is evident when you make plans to be achieved while in body and make efforts in the real world to work towards it. You were capable of making plans from free will and executing them even while you were up here. And you have carried this ability in the physical body too. Your life lessons are not related to one life only or life in one world only. You have been a part of existence in many planes of existence and therefore carry karmas from there also. Those people who join you in any life are, however, does not make you impervious to the karmas that entail human life. To what extent they will build up, rather become due, is not a given. Every once in a while, you may imagine life on another planet or plane of existence and think to yourself, how wonderful it would be to exist there. But let me tell you that if earthly life makes you feel uncomfortable because of all the lessons it makes you pass through, then the other planets are not free from their versions of life lessons and karmas either. What you call karma on your planet is known by some other name in another world. However, the law of balance is the same and applicable in all the worlds we have created. The learning varies by degrees of volatility of the lessons, the depth, and by understanding. If you think of the earth as a difficult plane, then dreaming of being able to execute the same lesson in an easier setup on another plane of existence or in another world will not bring you the learning that you have asked to accomplish by way of living on earth. You are unique and made unique due to the experiences you've had in many lifetimes. Every birth entails some karma.